can!
It's over!
He's done it again! Unbelievable!
Oh, straight into the roof of the net.
Nice one.
Straight down the middle. So
Hi, you're watching Firstpost. I'm Rupha Ramani. Let's get started. Right, on the show today, Mitchell Starc finally shines in the Indian Premier League. He stars in Delhi's crazy super over win over Rajasthan last night. He missed the Champions Trophy to stay fit for the summer. Is Starc finally validating the pricey tag? IPL betting surges, not just in India but globally. Hordes are swooping in on the bragging rights that have financial gains, but the ones facing the nightmare, the banking industry. I'll tell you why. And the PSL is anyway battling criticism over where it stands in terms of a sporting league. In the middle of all this, their captain's photo shoot has kicked up quite the storm. Warner's absence has led to some internet-breaking memes. How? Wait for that story. But first, a look at the headlines on Sports 360. Starting with cricket, India's cricket board, BCCI, has downsized the support staff for India's next series against England. Assistant coach Abhishek Nair, fielding coach T. Dulip and two other staff members won't be travelling. Reports suggest more changes are expected before India's England tour, which starts later this year. In football and the Champions League, Real Madrid have been knocked out of the tournament after losing to Arsenal in the quarter-final. Bukayo Saka and Gabriel Martinelli scored a goal each to make it 5-1 in Arsenal's favour. The Gunners are in the semi-final after 16 years and will face Paris Saint-Germain. Inter Milan have entered the semi-finals of the Champions League. The Italian outfit played out a 2-2 draw in the second leg of the quarter-final against Bayern Munich. Having a 2-1 lead in the first leg, Benjamin Pavard's 61st minute goal turned out to be the decisive one. Over in athletics, javelin thrower Neeraj Chopra kick-started his preparation for next month's Diamond League with a gold medal winning performance. The Tokyo Olympic gold medalist topped the six-man field invitational event in South Africa. The Indian ace recorded a throw of 84.52 meters. Neeraj will now aim to better his 2024 second-place finish at the Doha Diamond League. And summing it up with news from America, US President Donald Trump's administration has filed a lawsuit against Maine. This comes after Trump's increasing tensions with Maine's Governor General Janet Mills. The two have been in disagreement over banning transgender athletes. Trump earlier signed an executive order to ban trans athletes from women's sporting events. One bowler made all the difference between Delhi and Rajasthan last night. The crowd got the entertainment that they'd asked for. A super over finally, the first one for the tournament, but one player really stood above everyone else, and that was Mitchell Starc. Yes, the same Aussie Starc who's come under fire in the past for his average or below average IPL stints, but somehow still pulls in the big bucks. So what did he do last night? Well, he bowled Yorkers, and not just one or two, a whole series of them. That last over was menacing in all the ugly ways you can think of if you were a Rajasthan batter, trying to score 9 runs. Starc just had 9 runs to defend in that last over after Mohit Sharma wrapped up his spell, the previous one, that saw a huge 6. So pressure was on the bowling unit, and particularly on Starc. The lanky Australian pacer nailed Yorker after Yorker through the over, and just one delivery though fell a tad short, but I'd be nitpicking here. He pushed the game to a super over and came back in there to finish the job. Another clinical over to restrict Rajasthan to just 11 in a super over. was pure genius at work, which made his captain, Akshar Patel, heap all praise, attributing Delhi's win to Starc's precision.
He bowled almost 12 Yorkers. That's why he's such an Australian legend. I guess he missed only one ball as far as execution was concerned. The field was changed, but he kept at it. He won the game in the 20th over.
Pulling off what was a near-perfect display of quality fast bowling, making the great Dale Steyn say that's why he gets the big bucks. Now, there's a bit of history to that statement, though. Sure, Starc is worth every penny spent, but he somehow has had a mixed IPL experience overall. Take his stint with Bengaluru, where he first got picked up in that 2014-2015 cycle. Of course, it was a time when he was the Aussie star in their 2015 ODI World Cup win, but somehow that did not materialize for him while at Bengaluru. He even got injured, rejigging everything for him thereon. Of course, there was a massive break and he came back into the IPL, where he was picked up by Kolkata and was the highest paid in that auction. He started off rather slow last season, just when the murmurs of overpaid and underperform was getting louder. Starc made sure he starred in Kolkata's title-winning efforts. And that was last year, but now with Delhi in 2025, he's probably bowled his very best spell and under pressure.
Just backed my execution, running in with a clear plan. Sometimes it comes off, a bit of luck goes a long way. It was a fantastic game, happy to get on the right side. I've played long enough for everyone to know what I do, but if I execute, then I know I'll get by. A bit of luck goes a long way.
In fact, it has been quite the turnaround story for this Australian. Starc won just one Player of the Match award in the first 39 games that he played at the IPL and won 4 Player of the Match awards for the next 8 games. That's quite a transition. So what really helped him last night? The fact that he was really in the zone, he was the most impactful Delhi bowler, and he was not flustered by any of the pressure that was mounting. Maybe also Rajasthan not picking the informed Nitish Rana for that super over, who had in fact struck a 50 just earlier while they were batting. But there are a few points in my head regarding these choices. Sure, Rana was looking good, but he had not faced Starc during his 50. But nor had Riyan Parag, the batter who actually went out for that super over. And he was batting, and especially since Hetmyer, his partner there, was the last one standing for Rajasthan, which many found rather strange. Probably that's what pumped up Starc too. Or could it be all the criticism that he's always faced of being overpaid in the IPL, whatever it was? He came through for an IPL franchise, and that made more headlines. Another reason that he gave the ICC Champions Trophy, that was prior to this, a skip. At first, the talks were that it was owing to personal reasons, but he had to clarify after Australia's exit from the tournament that he had had an ankle soreness, which he wanted to tend to, apart from his personal leave of absence, and wanted to be fresh for the IPL in particular and the WTC final, the World Test Championship, which is still a whole while away, and that would of course depend on how much he strains himself here in these subcontinent conditions for the IPL. Either way, Australia's loss is clearly Delhi IPL franchise's game. Cricket's biggest T20 carnival, the IPL, brings everyone to a standstill because during the premier event, it is not just the franchises, the broadcasters, and those who are, of course, part of the setup who are involved. The whole nation joins in on the madness. Hospitality, tourism, travel, every industry becomes part of a spectacle. But the league has managed to be a bit of a headache for one set of people, the bankers. And it isn't because of the high price tag of some of the players or the mega cash that's involved in this tournament, but the massive gambling market that only intensifies when this summer festival takes center stage. Because it isn't just about cricket, it's serious business for the nation's richest tycoons and a nightmare for the banks. While the cricket and analysts are tracking the number of runs, the sixes, percentage of wickets, strike rate, or getting a hold of all the tumbling records, bankers are mapping the money trail. Believe it or not, when the IPL is underway, it isn't just the whole family getting together and staying up late to watch the drama unfold in front of the different screens they're on. The horde of banking server notifications keep the employees on their toes. IPL is a major catalyst for Indian gambling, a market that's reportedly comprising of over $100 billion US. And the reason behind that is simple. It isn't just the Indians who are involved, but the whole cricketing world that joins in on this. Online bookmakers based overseas to provide access to this money-making scheme through cryptocurrency. And while the legal betting market is still on the down low, lower on the scale, it is the illegal market that marks up a majority of the share. India's Crime Bureau of Investigation, or the CBI, just arrested 14 bookies over 3 days across various states, Chhattisgarh, West Bengal and Assam. But what about the others, the many, many others? Because the source isn't exactly known. Legal or illegal, it's the banking sector that takes the hit. And given India's quick and smooth online transactions, especially with the popular Unified Payments Interface, or the UPI transactions, placing a bet has become far easier. Users can gamble with their desired amount with a single click. The UPI industry already handles $3 trillion a year. And transactions range from as low as $1 to as high as $1 million, which is why everyone gets involved, from a hawker selling roadside sweet treats to a businessman with a multi-million-dollar net worth. And the one industry that is expected to service the whole spectrum are, of course, the banks. And the overdose of transactions have already led to crashed servers. Just recently, the UPI network was hit by frequent service outages. Couple of this coming in the last 20 days alone, which is post the IPL having begun. Earlier this month, outages lasted 95 minutes. And on one day particular, when Gujarat took on Rajasthan, a match that Gujarat eventually won. Clearly, for those who wanted to place a bet on Gujarat winning, it was a botched up affair. And imagine what will happen when superstars like Virat Kohli and MS Dhoni face off. The gamble won't just be on the field, but also on Dhoni's helicopter shot or Kohli's cover drives. The pressure won't just be on Chennai and Bengaluru teams out there, but also on the banking sector to handle the multitude of fast-paced transactions that will hit them. Sure, it seems a difficult task to handle the bouncers thrown at every second, but this is what IPL is about. The biggest money puller, the top contributor to every industry. So maybe the banking sector too needs to up their game, like IPL has over the years. Our next story is from the ongoing Pakistan Super League that seems to be struggling to counter all the pot shots critics and fans have been taking. Because who needs Hollywood when you've got PSL Media Day? A captain's photo shoot turned into an unexpected entertainer filled with drama and, would you believe it, romance. Let's just say the internet hasn't stopped blushing. This captain's photo shoot seems to be the most talked part of PSL 2025. And no, we're not exaggerating. Take a look at our report.
When it comes to cricket, Pakistan's got it all. The hype of talent, chaos, and now apparently accidental rom-com moments. As the 10th edition of the Pakistan Super League is underway, it's not contests and battles that are making all the headlines, but a single stare. One so intense, so smitten, that it practically screamed, "Please cast these two in a slow burn romance already." So here's what happened. During the official PSL 2025 captain's photo shoot, where men in jerseys stand with forced intensity and pretend they aren't awkward, Karachi Kings had a minor hiccup. Their captain, David Warner, decided not to show up. And the internet, of course, didn't let that slide. So in strutted fast bowler and vice-captain of the team Hasan Ali to save the aesthetic day. What should have been a routine lineup of captains posing like cricketing action figures quickly turned into meme gold. Because Hasan Ali, standing beside Peshawar Zalmi captain Babar Azam, delivered a stare so loving, so full of admiration, that it made fans across borders forget about all the mess that Pakistan cricket finds itself in and focus on the stare instead. Pakistani fans laughed, Indian fans trolled, and social media, being the meddling middle sibling that it is, took the loving stare and ran with it. Cue the fan edits, the dramatic background music, and a flurry of memes dubbing it the stare that launched 1,000 tweets. But just when the internet thought it had squeezed all the juice out of this moment, it remembered Hasan Ali's old catchphrase, "King kar lega." This translates to, "The king will be able to do it." a line he lovingly tossed out in support of Babar Azam during a previous cricketing slump. It was meant to uplift, to motivate, to say, chill, our king's just warming up. But in the light of Azam's recent form, which has been more meh than majestic, the internet has decided the phrase aged like a soft banana in the Karachi heat. To make matters even spicier, Hasan Ali's Karachi Kings were recently demolished by Lahore Qalandars by 65 runs. And during the post-match presser, when he probably expected questions about, the actual game, a reporter decided to dig up the King Kar Lega saga instead. But Hasan Ali, now clearly a veteran of both cricket and clout, served up a chilled, unbothered response. He said,
I've reached a point in my career and life where trolling doesn't bother me anymore.
He continued by saying,
Babar Azam is our product. If you think I made a mistake by saying King Kar Lega, I apologize. But the statement remains the same. He's the best, he was the best, and he will bounce back soon.
Translation, I said what I said and I meant it, honey. So while the PSL 2025 promises big hits and bigger showdowns, let's not kid ourselves. The real entertainment has been off the field with the photo shoot headlining it. Hasan Ali gave us a stare for the ages and a level of confidence in Babar Azam that even he might blush at. Whether or not he reclaims his crown, one thing's for sure: cricket has never looked this dramatic.
Time for last serve. If you thought Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo are breaking barriers with their extended spells on the international circuit and pushing the boundaries, wait till you hear about the Grannies World Cup in South Africa. Teams from all over the globe take part in the 30-minute matches. And while the matches may be slow-paced, the spirit is quite admirable. Take a look. They sure looked happy and excited to be out there, but that wraps it up here on Firstpost. I'll see you again tomorrow. Till then, take care.
Greeting you with aloha and namaste.
I love India.
Presence, occupation of a territory by another country pertains to India, what we saw in Kashmir.
How do you see Trump's America?
Yes, the current administration behaves differently from the previous administration.
Are you saying that there are foreign powers who are trying to bring down the current government in Syria?
Exactly.
Bluntly, Iran, maybe Russia too.
Prime Minister Modi committed to South-South, cooperation.
Not over 50%.
Is Ukraine prepared to pay the price for that peace?
No compromises at the cost of territorial integrity and sovereignty.